to this state. Now this world-class facility is going to benefit tens of thousands of patients. It is, and to think of it, that we are getting this free of cost. Getting medical treatment for the people of our state was actually a life-changing process, life-changing their entire wealth. People experienced unthinkable hardships. They struggled to pay their bills. They had to sell off everything to get treated. They traveled to places that they didn't understand, they could not communicate. Even in 1999, 2000 itself, when I was Deputy Commissioner of Customs Guwahati, I had to drop in sometimes to hospitals to visit patients from my state who were in deep stress and having problems they could not handle. With this kind of initiatives, our healthcare system is getting transformed, and the Chief Minister's Health Insurance Scheme is giving them finally that dream cashless treatment facility. And now they have the confidence of traveling from the remotest parts of the state to the best hospitals in the state. From the border areas near Myanmar, people now have the confidence of coming here. And just imagine they will now come and get the best facilities that modern technology can provide. I thank you, Numaligarh, and I hope that Numaligarh Refinery will do more such life-transforming CSR projects in the state in the years to come. Thank you.
I also attended that conclave along with my Managing Director, Mr. Rajat Jain, and since that point of time, we have been in continuous touch with Mr. Wilfred for this project, for the association of NRL in this development initiative for the state of Nagaland, and the professional way in which the entire thing began. It has given us a lot of confidence that something good is going to happen, because as a corporate house we have been donating, or we have been participating, we have been partnering in number of CSR initiatives across the country, and in all the projects we don't get that kind of positive response. But by involving ourselves as a partner in this project, from the very first one we were very confident that something good is going to happen. And today, by being here again as a witness to this inauguration program, by physically seeing the equipments and the facilities establishment, it once again has given us the confidence that in the future years to come, there will be many such projects which will be partnered by not only NRL but all the corporate houses of India, and Nagaland will be having many beneficial development projects for the benefit of the people of Nagaland. With these few words, I also am very happy and privileged to be in the august company of Sri Berry sir, you sir, and I am sure sometimes you will take the trouble of visiting our refinery at Numaligarh also. Will be blessed by your kind visit to Numaligarh. I extend my
a little bit under the gun to make sure not only that the funds are accounted for, which is the geotagging that was referred to, but also that they are spent within time, because otherwise they stand to pay a penalty. And I do think that the CSR requirements and commitments in India are unusual in their scale. So the notion, as we are all looking for ways in which to complement the fiscal resources of states, the thought that this is a resource that could be tapped is important for me, but it's also a sign of the fact that states in India don't wait for the center necessarily. I find in areas like energy, climate change, health, many of the innovations take place at the state level, and then it ought to be a role of an entity like NITI Aayog to spread the word, and I think we don't do as good a job of that as we can. So it's been an honor for me to open my innings here in Nagaland, here at such a worthwhile and innovative initiative. I look forward to meeting tomorrow with the member of my governing council, the Honourable Chief Minister, at meeting the Chief Secretary and his team later today in Kohima. My thanks to all who've been responsible for organizing this meeting. Put aside their political differences and essentially dedicate themselves to the welfare of citizens in their states, but collectively to the noble cause of raising India to its rightful place in the world. Now we are just on the edge of an election season. You would have been listening to a lot of the achievements of this government in the 10 years that it's been in office, but I think one of the most striking examples of the progress that India has made has been its steady rise amongst, in terms of the size of the economy, to a point where it is now the 5th largest economy in the world. And that is a sign that compared to what's been happening in the rest of the world, India has been making progress. And in addition, NITI Aayog also comes out with a calculation which is also looked at by the UN of the multi-dimensional poverty indicators. Something like 25 crores, 250 million people have escaped from poverty through a combination of various of the government, but not the union government alone, but of Team India. So there is a lot to celebrate, become common practice across the states. And as Prime Minister Modi often remarks, including at the Governing Council, it's only when India's states grow that India grows. And so when he appointed me to the job, because my background was substantially outside India, he said, your real work is with the states. And I am, as it were, exercising that mandate or that order by a visit to, as it happens, Nagaland in this case. And so just in my few hours here, what is it that I have seen and what will I take away? So first, what has certainly been mentioned, which is that dynamic individuals in different places, in IDAN, in the refinery, in the NGO sector, coming together can make an enormous difference. And that innovation, therefore, depends on the energy of individuals. And I think that is part of the Indian genius, that we, yes, we have institutions and we want institutions to become stronger, but that doesn't absolve us of our innate entrepreneurship. And I think an event like today, and the presence of my colleague Chaplain Vaishnav, who has returned to India in support of creating an innovation culture and entrepreneurial culture, I think this very much speaks to what the Prime Minister often mentions as the specific genius of India. Its diversity, but also its, what I might call its fizziness, its entrepreneurial fizziness. He is also convinced, as I am, he as a politician, I as a technocrat, that this is India's moment, India's takeoff moment, that many of the problems of the past, like hunger, poverty, etc., are not quite solved, but we can now look beyond them. And indeed, health and healthcare and freeing people, as was said by Sri Kezo, freeing them of the tension and the uncertainty of health catastrophe, and frankly the way in which the whole country came together in handling COVID, this provides a different level of confidence and energy in the population. I think that the particular innovation that I hadn't, thought about, but which I will certainly try and propagate in other states, is that being focused in the mobilization of CSR resources can be very powerful, and that again,
Shri Kezo, Commissioner, and for Doctors for You to stand here and being a part of this historic movement that is happening. I have always believed in a philosophy is the best way to find yourself is to lose yourself in the service of others, and this is the philosophy with which the Doctors for You was started in the year 2008. But I can say with a lot of pride that Doctors for You is working across almost all states of India and implementing CSR projects of at least 100 of these CSR partners. But the way that the CSR projects have been implemented in Nagaland in the last 2 years have been completely different. The kind of support that is being given from the government, the kind of support that has been given from IDAN, the kind of transparencies that have been created in the systems are completely exceptional. And though I'm very, very sure that there is a big team behind it, but one person because of which I think this is happening is Shri Wilfred, who supervise, who personally get involved in each and every aspect of it. Since we are talking about this histopathology lab, I'll just give you a brief example of this. So most of the time the CSR project happens is that there is a need of some equipments. A CSR partner come forward that yes, this is an area that has been implemented. Some equipments are bought and being placed into that particular place. However, Mr. Wilfred and the team was involved that what equipments are to be bought, what are the quality measurements of that, then they are being placed into the system. Then the site was checked, what are the areas where the cabins were to be made. When the cabins were created, due to some miscoordination, the wooden racks were being created. It was rechecked that why the wooden racks were recreated. They were dismantled. The aluminium racks were recreated again on that, so that each and every aspect of being taken care of. I can say this, that we have never experienced such kind of monitoring of the system ever. So we are extremely fortunate to work in Nagaland on various projects. As Mr. Wilfred has mentioned, our first experience of a CSR project with the state of Nagaland was the dialysis center, and for us also, we have implemented I think 7 or 8 dialysis center across India in various states, but still we consider our Dimapur dialysis center as the modern dialysis center that we have created.
Samples are required to be sent outside the state of Nagaland because the facilities are not available for testing of tissues and testing of blood, etc. So with this equipments that are being installed under this histopathology lab, the requirement of those tissues or samples to be sent outside the state of Nagaland will drastically come down, and which will be a huge benefit for the patients as well as for the doctors also, because they will be able to do their testing here.
So is the funding authority? Nagaland TV, Sop Manulaga Awas. Watch us live on Geo TV and on your television sets as well. For Dimapu viewers, we are on channel number 994 in Global Chapter, and Kohima and Mokokchung viewers, switch to channel number 138 on Hornbill Digital. For all news and updates, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitter.